day everyone, I'm Wyatt Pilanges from Group 2 and we are going to discuss about the lesson 3 that talks about the dance appreciation and composition. So our learning target is that for you to identify the characteristic of a good dance. Second, able for you to understand the choreography in dance, and lastly, the third, to evaluate a dance performance. So, terms to understand about dance. So, dancing have its form, phrase, and lastly, motif. So, form is the instrument by which ideas and elements are arranged or combined into logical sequence which result in unity and consistency. So, a form is just the shape, the structure or contour of the composition. Yung mga formation, yun. Second, the phrase. Phrase is the smallest unit of form in the whole dance. So phrase is just a small movement, but then that small movement have its meaning, that gives meaning to the dance. That's why it have a big contribution usually. And lastly, motif, a single movement or a short phrase of movement that embodies the style and intention of the dance is called motif. So usually, motif is a style nor the theme of the dance. Ganyan. Just like ballet, ganyan. So example of it is an itik-itik dance. It is a folk dance. Example of a folk dance. So itik-itik dance is a step, is very similar to the structures of that. That's why it is easy to identify its motif, because itik-itik from its title is a dance step that's similar to the duck. That's why. So what makes a good dance isn't about the transition of the dancers, their formation, their steps, their hard steps. So, to have a good dance, it's just like cooking a dish. A dance also be considered good if it has right ingredients, whether it has meaning or maybe presented abstract. It must contain certain qualities that make the choreography effective to the audience. So, a good dance is display the significant meaning, or it conveys message behind its text, and also it lift and transport the audience from their seats. Has a beginning, middle, and conclusion, just like the story or any stories that have its ending. And lastly, must have a shape or a form for an effective choreography. So dancing is just like it's just like any art form, diba? And yes, dancing is considered as a performing art form because the fact that dancing transmits the culture, transmits emotions, that also talks about telling stories to the audience. And yes, it's just like have its story that portrays or has a beginning, middle, nor the middle. Usually the middle in dancing is just the climax, uh, which we can see the message of the dance, its motif and conclusion. That's why.
Characteristic of a good dance. Unity. The interconnected phrases of a dance are coherent and flow smoothly together. The movements fit together and each play an important role to that contributes to the entirety of a dance. Continuing and development. Structures of a dance are organized progressively, making each movement phrase more naturally and the next. There is a continuous development of the movement, phrase, and audience swept along to the end. Variety and contrast. It gives the phrases of the movement into the more exciting and flavor to the dance. Changing the direction, use of energy, timing of the movement phrase, and avoiding repeating them in the exact way are ways to add variety to the dance. Transition. Link between movement, phrases, and section of a dance. logical progression of a dance flows smoothly. Also, it is a vital because it keeps the unity and continuity of a dance. Repetition. Some phrases need to be repeated in choreography so that the audience can see those movements again and identify its significance. Usually, when a certain phrase or a section of choreography is repeated, it is the main message of a dance. Climax. Apex of energy in the dance I reach. It is similar to the climax in a story where a series of events culminates.
Okay, so now let's go into proceed the sequential forms in dance. So what comes into your mind when you hear the word sequential form of dance or in dance? Well, we have three. It is a sequential, the contrapuntal, and episodic form. So when we say sequential, it is the form contains themes or a motif which progress in a specific order. They are arranged accordingly. So we have AB or a two-part form. The AB or a two-part form, it is the simplest of the sequential forms and is similar to a verse and a chorus of a song. It is binary form with two contrasting sections consisting of a beginning, which is A, and followed by a second section, which is B. So next we have ABA or a three-part form. It is composed of introductory theme, which is A, a contrasting theme, which is B, and a restatement of the original theme, which is A. So A is the unifying theme and the center of interest. Then B gives a contrast. So next we have a rondo form or the ABACA. It is form the unifying theme. So A returns after each constructing theme. And now we have themes and variation forms. Themes and variation forms, it is the most motif. It is series of movements to which variation are added throughout the development of the entire choreography. So second, we have contrapuntal. When we say contrapuntal, here is several themes are woven together in choreography to form a complex structure. The main theme is seen against itself or against one or more other themes. To support, we have a ground bass. The ground bass is a single theme starts the dance and is repeated all the way through the dance while other contracting themes are simultaneously performed with it. Second, we have a round or canon. A round or canon consists of two or more movement phrases or themes in which the main movements or phrases is imitated exactly and completely by successive movements, but done in staggered manner. Next, we have a fugue or accumulation. It is a choreographic form that is constructed by adding on different movements or a dance phrases in every repetition of the main movement or theme. The movement phrases can be developed by reversing, inverting, augmenting, or diminishing throughout the dance. Last, we have a suit. The suit is very section of the dance. It has beginning, middle, and end. It is used different tempos and qualities. Okay, so number three, it is the episodic form. So when we say episodic form, it is a form, not musical form. Okay, so this is not a musical form. Instead, they are found in literature. They tell a story through connected and progressive section called episodes. So it is narrative form is an episodic form that tells a story or conveys an idea and the sequence of the story determines the structure of the dance. Alright, so we also have a compositional form. It consists of a natural structure, a collage, a tableau, and a chant. So natural structure mostly came from a natural such as the seasons, the life, the cycle, and everyday life experiences. So the collage, it is consists of a series of movement phrases that are often unrelated but have been brought together to create a single dance with a beginning, with middle, and an end. So tableau. The tableau is a different movement phrases and it is also performed by different dancers simultaneously in the same space. So last, it is the chant. So the chant is the movement phrases and it is performed in a random order and a special pacing.
How is the quality of a dance evaluated? The success of any dance performance may depend on who the evaluators are. Appreciation and the importance of dance comes from the points of view of the choreographer, the dancer, and the audience. The evaluators already know how important a dance is. It depends on the evaluator on where it goes or what is the flow on the performance. It's up to the evaluators to be successful in any dance performance. Through their perseverance and unity, the outcome of the performance will be better and successful. The evaluators' roles. Let's have first the choreographers. They will evaluate a part of an ongoing process of developing a personal style which is both spontaneous and organized. So the role of the choreographer is to create plan routines for performance, usually a dance movements. They are the one who work closely to their dancer in devising the movements materials. They drawing on the dancer's individual style and creativity for dance, and because of them, the performance of the dancer will be good in terms of the choreo of the dance, with their different styles and movement. And in order for the audience to arouse their attention and to entertain them. The dancers. Dancers will evaluate according to the specific demands that the performance plays on them. Dancers interpret music through their movements, actions, or steps. And the dancer also who interprets the works of an choreographers. They use movements, gestures, and body language to portray a character, story, situation, or abstract concept to an audience related to dance they performed. And now the audience. The audience evaluate according to the particular context of dance. The role of the audience is to watch and at the same time to learn. They have a chance to learn about the performing during a performance they might watch. The audience evaluate what they see and learn in the performances. Making a dance critic. There are 3 stages of assessing a dance. First, description. Description it involves close observation of all the elements, characteristics, and components of a dance. Here, the evaluator or critic notes down the composition of the dance in terms of the elements and the characteristic of the dance. In that description, it should be described what happened in the dance piece and what the dance looked like. Or it describe overall structure of the dance. The second is the interpretation. It involves an appreciation of the ideas, content, images, and styles contained within the dance. So the interpretation is entirely up to the audience. It is the steps answer like why questions. Example, what connection or relationship did you see between the performance and the movements of music? It is the part wherein the audience interpret what they see on the performance and ask some question, or what it is the part, what is the reaction of the audience after watching the performance. And the last one is the evaluation. It takes into consideration how effectively the features and the context of the dance have been utilized in the actual performance of the dancers to portray the content and the quality of the dance. The evaluation is more on answering some questions about the dance they perform and explain how dance succeeded or fell short of its goals. The evaluation can be placed to discuss live performance aspects and identify areas of improvements or what you might like to see next.
On me, things I go start all night, you won't sleep. Up and cut off, make your